Yo, what's poppin'? All my peeps, it is I, your host of the most Renaissance man who always thinks he can. And oh yeah, your champion of the peeps, Patty Pitts, back once again in the yard of streams. We have the wrong banner up, Sarah. Holy shit. Shit. I just start over. Yo, what's poppin'? All my peeps. It is I, your host with the most Renaissance man who always thinks he can. And stop. Your champion of the peeps, Patty Pitts, back once again in the yard streams for another edition of Pitts and Sara's Wrestling Show, where we take no nights off. The Super Show. And you can't be super all alone. Gotta have a sidekick along with you. It is the best of the West you can't forget about. Sarah Marshall, what's popping, girl?
Hey, yo.
Hello.
Hey, yo.
Hey, yo.
How we doing on this fine-ass Wednesday?
Good.
And, is Sarah, you can't be doing just good today of all days.
Why?
Because it's your birthday!
My birthday!
Happy
Yes,
birthday to Sarah!
Wear a crown or something.
Huh?
I said I should have worn a crown or something.
You like what?
Missed opportunity. My bad.
Just go to BK. Get
For
yourself
real.
a crown.
I guess. Should have done that.
I did that once drunk. It was hilarious. Oh, they loved
geez.
me. But no, today is your birthday, and what a great way to spend it than
Yes.
talking about the greatest thing to grace God's green earth, professional wrestling, because it is the Super Show of No Nights Off.
Baby.
It is the Super Show. Not only that, we got predictions. We got Crown Jewel predictions. Crown Jewel live on Peacock this Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. 10 a.m. or 1? No, 10 a.m.
10 a.m.
10 a.m. Sarah time. So set your clocks, because if you're on the coast. So then we got that predictions going on. And because obviously there's no SmackDown breakdown, we are going to have a little bit of a super show, loading it with topics and stuff. So let's just have a ball. All right. And let's start this ball with our favorite segment of the week, Sarah. Go to hit. This is why we need a producer.
No, it's just...
Don't be a lemon. Be a rosebud.
Don't be a lemon, Sarah. Be a rosebud. Our lemons and rosebuds of the week. For anyone who's new here, our lemons are our least favorite things in wrestling that we saw this week, and rosebuds are our favorites.
Can we pause to say hi? Because we forgot to say hi.
Holy shit,
to
you're
the
right,
peeps.
Sarah. I'm so locked in here. I forgot to say what's up to the peeps. Vinny, hi.
What is up?
Sup, everyone. Just confirmed that Rhea is legit hurt. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that breaking news. There, Dickie, we are. Ashton is here. What's up? Dickie says happy birthday along
Thank you.
with Vinny.
Thank you.
Ashton. So everyone's celebrating the tribal queen. I don't. Why are you the tribal? Why I? What am I? You get the tribal queen.
I don't know. I didn't pick it.
I just look at you just getting all the love while the champ of the peeps just slaves away here watching everything. Do you know how much effort it takes to watch everything and be the champion of the peeps?
This is my third podcast today, so
you know what? We can't all be as popular as you. I drove around the city of Boston today selling fish and had quite some success. A little bit of success. I hope that translates over to predictions and thoughts about the wrestling world, because that's where the heart really is. So that's where the heart is. Let's start with what our heart was loving. And enough of me royal rambling here, Sarah.
Yes.
Talk about what was your favorite thing in wrestling this week.
So it kind of goes along with the breaking news that Richard was talking about with the Rhea injury, but that's not what I'm celebrating. What I am
Thank God.
celebrating,
Thank you for
yeah,
clearing that up.
no, I would never celebrate an injury. I'm not that like black-hearted,
No.
but I would say what happened on NXT with Liv, Raquel, and Rhea was great, and I don't want to get too picky about it, but I do kind of wish that it had happened on Raw, because we've talked about the audiences not always like translating from Raw and SmackDown to NXT and vice versa. But this was such a huge moment for this storyline. And so it's kind of a shame that it happened on NXT, and a lot of the people that watch Raw every single week might not have seen it, because I think this is something that is their story needed something like this to happen. I don't necessarily mean that it had to involve an injury or something, but their
Yeah, broken
story,
orbital bone.
yeah,
Jesus.
their story needed some sort of spicing up. We've talked about it on here a lot, that people are getting bored of their storyline, and so it needed something, especially because we were saying this feels like something they could try and push out till Mania. And now with this update about Rhea being legitimately hurt, it feels like it's inevitable that this is going to be pushed out till Mania. But it's like, I think it's, again, I'm not glorifying an injury, but it's kind of like a blessing in disguise, because I really do think it was a mistake for them to keep this storyline at the forefront for all these women. Like, you can still kind of, dabble in it and whatever, but I think if they were going to try to push it out till Mania, they needed to take a break. This is forcing them to take a break, because Rhea literally cannot compete. So I think it's what this storyline needed, and I'm excited to see where they go from here. I don't know. I think that the people that were a little bit bored, as I said, are more intrigued by what's going on. So
Yeah, with this, I would say, I wouldn't say blessing in disguise. More so, it's funny how wrestling works. Wrestling works in very mysterious ways. We saw it with Punk and McIntyre, and how injuries played in their story's favor, and we're seeing it here now. People didn't want Rhea and Liv at Mania because we were already expecting the one more match to be in the near future. Where now, if you did, that's because that's not going to happen. You're going to see them at like that next payoff inevitably will be Mania. And now people are getting back on the bandwagon, like, yeah, this is a big feud, big match. It's happened for this long, and the injuries, and like, so it comes in waves. And I hate to say that, or I hate to be on the side of an injury like this kicks the story back into high gear, because it was on the down. But that's the beauty of professional wrestling.
it's what happened from the beginning, remember? Because Liv
Because
hurt Rhea at the beginning.
exactly. She
So
threw into the wall.
yeah, so then she had to forfeit the title, which helped Liv eventually become the champion. So it's like this, like, that's why I'm saying it's like a blessing in disguise, because you can't predict these things. You can write a fake injury into a storyline, but it's still fake. It doesn't actually take somebody away from a story.
Exactly. It's yeah.
And so sometimes the timing can suck, but it can also be really good for everybody. And that is the thing, I think, with Rhea too. Like, this is just going to make her a bigger star again when she comes back. Like, she's going to be crazy over, just like when she came back and she was already an immediate babyface. This is just going to make her a bigger babyface when she comes back, and Liv a bigger heel, because then she's going to be able to, she could take this moment and do exactly how Drew McIntyre did it with Punk and brag about being the reason why she's sidelined and the reason why she's still not the champion. And now she can be like, I put her on the shelf and I did this, and like, she's never going to take my title. Like, this is how they can progress it and make it a compelling feud, just like they did with Drew and Punk. So it feels like, again, like a blessing in disguise, because I don't think that they could have written a better path for this to continue that people would actually be interested in.
I've been listening to CVV, and her interview was came out today. She's playing into that. Rhea Ripley means nothing to me. All this, and I've seen clips of her interview on Impulsive. Like, they're taking this outside the ring, and they're going to build this as much as possible. I love it, and this is how you build a main event for WrestleMania. And if Rhea wins the Rumble, cool. If that's how you're gonna do it, I don't love it, but like, sure.
I don't think they need to do it that way, though. I think that she would have a bone to pick when she comes back, like
an Elimination Chamber win.
Yes, like and I mean, I still don't even think that she needs to win anything, but obviously if the Royal Rumble winner picks the SmackDown Women's Championship, then that's how they've been doing it, to determine who faces the other champion. But I think that is a better way to do it than just letting her win the Rumble, because I hate when they do that. I didn't love it when Cody won it.
It's just late. It's lazy.
Because I think I think this story could be good enough that if she comes back, Adam Pearce could be like, yeah, what Liv did was messed up and you never got to have your rematch, so I'm giving it to you. Like, I think they could do that, but the easiest way to make it happen at Mania, of course, is for her to win the Elimination Chamber, and they could try and work that in their favor too. They could put Raquel in there, and then Liv can be like, oh, Raquel is going to stop her, but Rhea eliminates Raquel, and then she ends up being able to win and face Liv at Mania. I feel like that's the best way. Like, they can eliminate her from the Royal Rumble and then, compete to get into the Elimination Chamber. Then she gets in the Elimination Chamber and they're like, oh, it's going to happen again. She's not going to win. And then she wins. And I don't know. I think there's such good potential because of this. Like, it would be great if she could return at the Royal Rumble. That would be ideal.
See, that's the ideal situation.
Yeah. And then building it from there, getting eliminated from the Royal Rumble, working her way to get into the Elimination Chamber, winning the Elimination Chamber, and then getting her rematch against Liv at WrestleMania, and then probably winning at WrestleMania. But it feels fitting given what she would have gone through over the past year. And it also allows Liv to have like a solid reign,
She needs a solid reign.
I think so too.
I need to see her have a solid reign and defeat, I would say, at least 3 to 4 different people. Like, she deserves it.
I think that too, but apparently that's not a popular thing because people just don't view her as a champion. But
they don't get it. It's like Alexa Bliss's champion. You loved Alexa Bliss's champion. Well,
that's what
we
I'm
all
saying.
Loved Alexa Bliss's champion.
Yeah, and that's why I'm confused, because I think that it feels like when they say that about Liv, they're talking about her size, and that doesn't make any sense to me, because if it was like, oh, the only woman who can be championed is someone that looks like Rhea Ripley, then it would be Rhea Ripley, Raquel Rodriguez, and like that's it though. Like, Becky Lynch is not a big woman. No, so like she's not much bigger than Liv. So it's like, if you're gonna say, you're saying Charlotte, that she can't be champion because of her size, like, that doesn't make any sense. And I think that Liv has only gotten better from this feud. So what?
Where does Charlotte fall into all of this?
I would say Charlotte. Well, Charlotte's not going to be on SmackDown.
I'm talking Rumble.
Oh, she can.
I'm just talking I'm not talking this. I'm sidebar. Where is Charlotte Flair? Let's take away this, because this is definitely not your rose.
I think the ideal situation for her would be probably, if she can return at the Rumble. I feel like that's the better situation. I don't think she should win, but I wouldn't be surprised if they let her win because she's been gone. But I wouldn't hate her winning and then challenging Tiffany Stratton at
Oh, so
Mania.
you're already
hmm
Tiffy is already
I would love that.
cashed in. She's already
And
cashed in, is what you're saying.
yes, by Mania, yeah. I need
By
maybe
the
by
Rumble.
Maybe by Rumble. Yeah, I told you I think it's not going to happen until after they send out the replicas.
Well, let's put it this way, okay? This motherfucking feud has been done for
I
how
know.
long?
I know.
ordered this bracelet. No, my watch is in the way. Sorry for flexing on you real quick. But this bracelet was
But
ordered on September 12th.
I know, but I
It is
feel like
October 30th.
I still think it's a little different though, because it's a bracelet. It's not like the briefcase, you know.
I'm just
But
saying.
I think that would I don't know. That's the only thing that makes sense right now because I don't really feel like there's a front runner winner for the women. I know people have said Naomi, but I don't think Naomi's at that point.
I'm
I think
okay with that.
people want to see Tiffany versus Charlotte, and I would be on board with that, but Charlotte has to lose. I cannot see her beat another person like Tiffany Stratton at Mania, and I cannot see her win another championship at Mania. So she can win the Rumble if that's, but that's the extent of her winning. She cannot do anything more than that. That's the thing. You cannot squash Tiffany.
I don't know if I want to be next to you, but like kind of do. If Charlotte Flair was to win a championship at WrestleMania,
I would fucking kill myself, bro. It's just
I would be a beer in my hand, just enjoying the moment and looking over. I would be enjoying the moment of WrestleMania. It would be a damper. I'm not going to totally disagree with you.
I would be
be a damper.
If we actually are at Mania,
well, there'll be a watch
party.
I
would be one of the people that doesn't stand up, to like celebrate or whatever. I would be the sitter. Mm-hmm.
You're gonna sit.
That's what I did during the Yeet stuff. Remember, I was just like sitting there.
I went to the bathroom during Jay's entrance, and as soon as they announced that Lil Wayne was coming out to sing a Millie, I booked it like Usain Bolt to the closest entrance back into the stadium and enjoyed that. Second time ever seeing Lil Wayne. Fun fact.
Same. I saw him during I saw him in concert for that album.
For the Carter 3?
Yeah, when he had a Millie and Lollipop. Yeah, that album I saw him in concert.
No way.
Yeah, it was a free concert for me. My friend had an extra ticket.
That's insane.
She was like, "You want to come see him?" I'm like, "Sure."
Yeah, I saw him Blink 182.
That's pretty cool.
All right, my Rosebud of the week it's not AEW. That's on tonight. All right, and I'm not going to make my Rosebud what Jon Moxley is going to bring because I'm going to have a few words about that and we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
My Rosebud of the week actually is from a social media clip posted post-show. Karrion Kross being informed that The Miz was kidnapped.
He did.
It may be the best thing that Karrion Kross has done with the Final Testament. I'm not going to say since being back, but overall with the Final Testament and getting not only them over, but himself. I mean, dude, now you want to watch him every week on Raw. Like when he pops on your screen, you're not going to turn the channel.
Well, at least some of us.
No, I'm saying that little clip on social.
Yeah.
Got people to be like, all right, this guy's hilarious. Like, this guy is intriguing.
Yeah, I just think, it feels like the vast majority of people don't feel that way. Because when I've said things, I told you I commented on something and I was like, you guys are sleeping on Karrion Kross. And people were like, yeah, because he's a snooze fest. Or like, that was like all the things that people were saying. And I'm like, you guys are just not giving him a chance. But because I really do think that besides that dominant run that he went on in NXT, I feel like, I guess we could talk about his main roster run. I think he's doing the best work of since being on the main roster right now. And it's unfortunate that people are just not paying attention because they're bored or they don't like him or like they're not paying attention,
it's little details in what he's doing. I mean, even detail with the start of the video. You can tell that he's drawing something that
Mm-hmm.
he's going to show to the Wyatt family or something along the lines of a potential next vignette. And Scarlett interrupts him to break the news.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell immediately he's just so pissed off. Like, oh,
Yeah.
like, why does this have to be another thing I have to deal with? And Scarlett having that heart, that we have to help him. But him being like, okay, well, he did what I asked. He's gone. He's out of our hair. But
Mm-hmm.
Scarlett be like, no. Like, he has a purpose here. And he's like, okay, I'll go look, whatever. But the point is, like, now you're interested in why does Karrion have an interest in The Miz? Just off of that stupid minute clip where he made you feel like you were watching a second segment or something, a transition segment in Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Well done, Karrion.
Oh
Good shit.
God, Remy.
Well, we talked the good, gotta talk the bad. Sarah, what's that lemon of the week?
I know that everybody was expecting this, and people were even trolling. Like, well, not even trolling. They were joking about it as soon as it happened. But Rikishi talking about how it's crazy and stupid, whatever, that Jay lost the Intercontinental title.
Doesn't get it.
It just, but so like I said, when we talked about this when it happened, it was like, okay, we know why this is happening. We already saw proof of it on that following SmackDown. We saw it again this past week on Raw. It was like, yeah, this needed to happen because the bloodline is going to be the A story again. And Jay is going to go continue his rise to stardom on SmackDown. So he had to lose the Intercontinental title. And so I feel like if it's that easy for somebody who just watches wrestling to understand, it boggles my mind that somebody who spent years in professional wrestling wouldn't understand that and can't remove himself from being dad to being a wrestler, I also just think it's kind of silly that he's, even if you say it, if he's speaking from like a dad perspective, like I get being disappointed, but like the reason why the Usos really are as big as they are is because of the Bloodline storyline. Like they were a top tag team and stuff before that, but the Bloodline stuff really put them over the top. And that's when they had their longest reigning tag team championship run. And that's how, Jay had these main event matches and stuff. It's like, if you took that storyline away, we wouldn't be talking about Jey Uso being Intercontinental Champion. We wouldn't talk about him losing the title because it wouldn't have happened. So that's why it's like kind of crazy to me that he's complaining about this. Like, it doesn't add up in my mind.
Do you believe that with the Bloodline story, they have became the greatest tag team of all time in WWE's eyes over the New Day? Because it felt like to me before the New Day were the number one in WWE's eyes, but since the Bloodline story has really revolutionized things around here, they have became the unanimous one.
I think so too. I think that kind of was made official when they had the main event of Night 1 of Mania.
Okay,
I feel like that
we're on the same wavelength.
Yeah, that solidified that right there, and it was like the reason why, in part, that was such a big story and why it was deserving of having a main event spot was because it was the Bloodline, because of the Usos, you know what I mean? So it's like, I think that was the sign right there. Because like nothing against obviously the New Day, but they haven't had as good of storylines or longevity the way that the Usos have, and the connection that they have to Roman and whatever. And that's like the Bloodline is going to be like the main thing that people remember when you talk about the Usos. They had been in WWE for a long time before that, but like this is the meat and potatoes of their wrestling careers, and it's the best stuff that they've been doing. So to me, it's like, yeah, they're the greatest of all time.
The best stuff. This is some of the best work of their career, hands down.
Yeah,
absolutely hands down. I don't really have a lemon this week, to be
Mhm.
quite honest, because Dynamite hasn't aired yet. We still have to see. We kind of already talked about what I didn't like on Raw so far. NXT, there really isn't much that I don't like, so I can't put it as a lemon.
Yeah.
Um,
I think it's
I
fair
think,
that we don't always have a lemon though. Like sometimes there's also weeks where I feel like I don't have something that I loved. You know, it's like, yeah, things were good, but I don't know that there was anything that I loved more than everything else, you know?
yeah, like if I want to get really technical, like it's some of the people that are for ECW and NXT, like NXT at or NXT 2300, whatever they're calling it. If you want to go there, but
Dawn
no, you know what?
Marie,
Yeah, you know what? That's hilarious.
that was I was like, wait, what? Like
I was
the Dawn
obsessed with
Marie?
her. I was obsessed with her.
I'm sure you were.
Oh my god. No, I had it and then lost it. Oh, okay. I got it back. Here's my lemon, and it's not really something I don't like, but something I want to throw to the
Did
peeps.
you see
Oh.
Remy's arm?
What, did Remy have a question?
She was trying to get my attention, so she was like reaching up.
Oh.
Watch. See?
Mhm. Yeah, she's trying to,
Did you see it?
hey, I want to talk to you.
Mhm.
Um,
Hey.
all
She
right.
goes. She goes again.
Have you heard of the Outrunners, Sarah?
I think so. I
Okay,
think so.
AEW tag team Collision. I would say their home is Collision. Okay, they're in a storyline right now with FTR.
Mhm.
Here's the thing.
Is this
I'm
the thing
not.
that if they lose, they have to break up forever?
That's
Or
Private Party.
okay, okay,
That's all right. That'll be my future lemon if we were
okay.
recording tomorrow and they end up losing. Don't break up Private Party. Don't. They're so good. We haven't even seen the potential for them yet. All right, but no.
Okay.
They're the '80s guys that are buff and they work out and they got the weird facial hair.
Mhm.
Oh man, I do not get it. I'm not a fan. I take it or leave it. I just it's not for me. But all over my Twitter feed is just people obsessed with the Outrunners.
Mhm.
I don't get it. I'm not like they are Collision. Like it's to me, it's not
I
something
think
that's made me like, yeah, the Outrunners. It's like the Outrunners were on Collision. All right, sky's blue. Check. Things are
I
back
think
to normal.
sometimes things become trendy because they're like the underdog or they're not the most popular and then it becomes cool to like them because they're not popular that they then become popular. You know what I mean? So I feel like that could possibly be that type of situation.
Because they have
But
characters and personality. Like, yeah, I get it, but like, okay,
maybe they're just
I
not your cup of tea.
maybe they're not, and that's okay. That's fine. It's the only thing I can think of
Mhm.
that has been, yeah, they're '80s throwback guys. I know that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, it might just be my brain who watched so much old school shit and watch all those YouTube, I don't want to call them mini docs, but the this guy, top 10 wrestlers from this time or something like that.
Mhm.
Um, and I just go down rabbit hole of old people. So I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
But all right, so Romero, here's a good answer. Nostalgia, they're 80s throwback, and anyone who watched the 80s Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, Ultimate Warrior will appreciate them. All right. So if it's for the people who need that to get them to appreciate it, I'm for it. Not my cup of tea. And you know what? That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine, Sarah.
I did see a couple people shared their um lemons and rosebuds, by the way.
They did. All right, let's go back to them then. Boop a doop. Rosebud. Stephanie Vacour pinning Roxanne Perez because Stephanie is a bigger deal than Julia.
Hmm.
Bold take. I will not comment on that if I believe that's true or not. Not in the right state. Not in the position to. Say that. 11, jeez. Lemon, no follower up to Nikita Lyons and Obafemi. Just like no.
I have questions about Nikita Lyons' gear.
I just have a question straight up about Nikita Lyons. All right. I don't care about her. I'm
I
sorry. I don't.
I am confused at how she was like straight up wearing a thong. Like that
She's bootylicious,
I
Sarah.
but
That's the gimmick.
that was still kind of weird though. I was
Yeah,
like, what?
that's Orlando, baby. I don't know. Like
I was
I'm
confused.
so over. I because she's had one injury, came back for a short stint, then
And
had
then had
another
another one.
injury. So it's not really her fault. It's just the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
You know, you get left behind. You know, look at the entire women's division. We're gonna have a whole topic that I want to talk about involving that 10 women stare down
Mm-hmm.
that we saw on NXT. Do we have any more rosebuds? Dickie definitely has some. Rosebud NXT women's division is on fire. Like, yeah.
Yep.
We're gonna talk. I saw something. I didn't cook it up. I just microwaved it. But Sarah, what
Yes.
other podcasts did you join?
Oh,
Or do?
so I was on one that's not out yet, but if you follow me on Twitter or whatever, I'll post it, and maybe I'll even once it's up, I can put it in info box for our channel. But the other one is I was on Patriots Playbook, which is a podcast that is through the New England Patriots. So that was pretty cool. So I was just there to talk about the Patriots today. I do have the link to that on my Twitter. So if you want a link right to when I'm on, because it was like a 2-hour live stream, you can check it out there. So that was pretty cool. I just had a very busy day today.
On your birthday, no less. God.
Yeah. Well, and it's fine because like I wasn't planning on taking the day off, and then I had the chance. So I was like, okay. And then the Patriots thing came up and I was like, I can't say no, like I can't say no. I don't want to be on today. Yeah. So
no.
Yeah.
Good shit. Good shit out of you. All right. Let's. Is that all we got? So we good? We good? All right. Let's travel around the Wrestleverse. And before we get going on the Wrestleverse, we got to get in the car. But Sarah, here's the thing. I don't think it's fair to rank all the promotions and shows this week because AEW hasn't happened yet.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be heavily favored WWE. We're equal here. So I'm not going to do that. I'll say for this week, give me 4 stars, 4 wrestlers, your favorite wrestlers this week that are hopping in the car with you.
Okay.
On the road to Vegas.
Let's see. I would have to pick Liv Morgan.
Okay.
Because I like the development of that story. I'll pick Stephanie Vacour.
Okay.
You know what? I'm also going to pick Zarya because that is a queen.
You got to learn about her. There's a road trip. We got to learn about her.
And I will also pick Ludwig Kaiser because he had another fantastic match against Sheamus on Raw, and then he is such a good talker. So that backstage interview after Raw went off the air, fantastic.
All right. I'm picking Karrion Kross, Xavier Woods, because I want to see those two interact, and low key my favorite stories on Raw right now. I'll go to NXT for my final 2. Kelani Jordan, because someone said it, and I want to make this comparison for any of my Marvel peeps out there. Initially, I thought of Kelani as the Spider-Man Tom Holland of the Avengers. But in reality, she's more like the Ant-Man, where she's very useful, obviously, and whatnot. but the energy she gives is just so innocent and happy to be there. And that's
Mhm.
exactly what Paul Rudd was with the Avengers. So that was just, I saw that. I've seen that comparison like a million times today about the NXT Avengers
Mhm.
and Kalani Jordan. I'm like, is she Tom Holland? And then it hit me and it was Ant-Man. So Kalani Jordan is, she's been crushing it, even though she did lose. She did
Mhm.
lose a championship with
She
my
had
girl
kind of a
Fallon
boring.
Henley.
She kind of had a boring reign, for being honest.
She had 4 title defenses, good title defenses.
Yeah, but still not
So
great.
I would say an elevator. I'm up on it.
Yeah, she'll become champion
Have
at
you
some point.
seen? Oh, I'm getting off track here, but Kalani, and no, I'm not putting Ridge Holland in my car. No.
Yeah, don't.
No, I don't want Ridge Holland. I want Bubba to kick his ass.
Mhm.
I am gonna go. I'm gonna go with all ego, baby.
Okay.
Ethan Page. He kind of got cast aside this week.
Mhm.
Why am I blanking on who got the promo? Why am I blanking on that? Now it's getting me really annoyed that I can't think of it, but it'll come to me. But I'm a big fan of All Ego right now, and him not champion was the right move. I saw something on Twitter that they were mad that WWE put the belt back on Trick. Like,
Yeah.
no, you're not thinking.
Yeah.
Ethan Page needs to be the lurking villain around the NXT Performance Center. I do want to put the Dawn though. I love the Dawn. Oh, Rizzo's. Star, you got to start being a fan of Rizzo in the family. Firecracker. So last week, leading up to the match, they had everyone in the family get taken out before. So the Dawn had to do it alone. Doesn't do it alone, obviously. The family comes out, helps them, great, finish, whatever. Rizzo gets on the mic after Dawn's being interviewed, and she says that I know who attacked me. I'm coming after you on Tuesday. And we're like, all right, sick. Who is it? And there was no like, Rizzo's going to come out to find out who her attacker is. No, it's very 2024, which I love. During the Nikita Lyons match, Rizzo comes out and beats Nikita Lyons' ass because Nikita Lyons was the attacker.
That's
which
when I
makes
saw that she was wearing a thong. I was like, girl, what is happening?
no sense. Like, why?
They're just trying to give Nikita something to do, I think.
If it's anything to build up Rizzo, I'm all in on Rizzo. So yeah, that's my car. All right. Time for Crown Jewel predictions, Sarah. Meet here. We got Crown Jewel. All right. Before we get to the actual predictions, I want your thoughts. We had this conversation a little bit yesterday. Which match main events? Can we agree? Can we agree?
Are you asking my opinion or what I think is going to main event?
I'd like to know your opinion first.
I still think it should be Gunther versus Cody Rhodes.
Yes, it absolutely should be. Okay.
I don't think that's going to happen though.
You really think they're going to go Roman?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah,
I don't
because
think they will.
They want to build him up as like this spectacle and whatever. But and it's like the Usos are back together and the OG bloodline, and it's like we're all supposed to care about that more than anything else. I don't want it to happen, and I feel like it's a dumb move, but I feel I don't know.
I don't know. That does not. I'm not casting your opinions or diminish or whatever, but I can't. I cannot be okay with that because of how they have treated the Crown Jewel Championship.
No, and that's why I'm saying I don't want it to happen, but I really wouldn't be surprised if they like
that'd be ridiculous.
Do that, you know.
That would be that'd be ridiculous. All right, so let's start with Oh, should I do match? Should I do the match banners? Or
Oh, it's fine. No, it's fine.
okay. All right, we'll start with what we think should open the show because I think we're on the same wavelength there too. Roman Reigns, Jay and Jimmy Uso, the OG Bloodline taking on Bloodline 2.0, Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, and Tonga Loa.
Yeah, if it doesn't main event, then I feel like
Or is
that
it Jacob Fatu?
I don't even know actually.
Holy shit! Oh,
I don't remember.
I gotta find that out. Yeah, like you have Cody and Gunther on the cover. Like, come on.
No, I know, and
Oh,
that's
it
what
is
they've
Tonga Loa. Okay, good. Yeah, I
and
didn't
that's
think.
what they've been promoting. Like this just came up on Monday, so that's why it's like I don't think that should be the main event. I think it would be a great one to open with. It would get people excited, like you said.
It would get the people on their feet.
I think also, so if we're gonna talk, are we talking about that match first then?
Yes.
All right. So I think that because we believe that it's going to be the men's War Games match, I think the Bloodline 2.0 has to win. I'm sure we're probably going to get like Jacob Fatu to come out and like, or they're going to do the numbers game, you know, and it's going to be like another reminder to the OG Bloodline that they don't have enough people with them to fully take down the Bloodline 2.0. So I feel like that then makes sense for them to have a match at Survivor Series, and it also makes sense for them to try and look for other people to join up with them, whether it's Cody Rhodes, whether it's Sami Zayn, whoever it is, you know. I feel like all of that just like makes it so easy for all of that to happen. You know, like it wouldn't feel forced the way that it feels forced that they put this match on the card for Crown Jewel.
Yeah. I echo everything you said. You're 100% right. My thoughts now are, where does Sammy lie into all of this? Because Solo posted a photo of him and Sammy today. Comment my dog. And we saw Sammy talking to Solo on Monday. What's going on there?
I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting because I feel like it's kind of predictable for him to come out and try to help them. I feel, but that feels on brand. Like I don't really see him siding with the Bloodline 2.0 because then it's like, oh, is Sammy turning heel? Which that doesn't seem likely. But then, like we said when we were talking about this on the Raw Rewind, because Sammy mentioned like, oh, Jay, if you're going to be helping out your family, does that mean that you're going to be asking for a trade to SmackDown? It's like, okay, if that's the case, does that mean if Sammy helps that Sammy needs to be traded to SmackDown? If that's the case, that seems unlikely that they would trade two people to SmackDown just for this storyline and then have to move two people from SmackDown to Raw. Like that seems a lot. But I think until we get a little bit more clarity on that, it's kind of hard to say, like, and unfortunately, we're not going to get clarity on that situation before Crown Jewel.
Unfortunately,
it would be more so the fallout from Crown Jewel. But I really wouldn't be surprised if Sammy comes to their aid, you know, but I don't know. I guess we'll have to see what happens on SmackDown as well.
Very interested to see what happens there. Next match, LA Knight, Carmelo Hayes, and Andrade, triple threat for the U.S. Championship.
This is going to be the match of the night.
This is going to steal. This is going to steal the show.
I think LA Knight's retaining. I don't see any reason to take it off him. Like if there was if somebody else was the United States champion right now, then I might have a different answer. But I think because it's LA Knight, like I just don't see him losing it. And it's unfortunate because I think Mello or Andrade could easily be the United States champion right now. But it's LA Knight, and I don't think it makes sense for him to lose it right now. Unless he lost it and then won it right back, kind of similar to what they did with Jey Uso and Braun Breaker.
That's possible, but it just, I don't. You need to have LA Knight have an established win as U.S. champion in a way to reestablish the importance of that title would be to have him defeat 2 dudes for it.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be LA Knight in my eyes, and he can go. It opens the door for someone else, like a new feud with him. Maybe this is all building up for AJ Styles to come back. I don't even know the severity of the injury. Seems pretty
It's
severe.
pretty bad, yeah.
So
it ends some athletes' careers. So
fucking awesome.
I know.
Oh,
I was like, out of all the injuries that you could get, you couldn't just get like something that takes you off the shelf for a bit, but like is easy to recover from.
We can't have AJ Styles end his career on an injury. Like
No.
that would be Bo Jackson level shit.
I think he's gonna do whatever he can to get back. Like I don't. He strikes me as that type of dude. So
my dog, dude.
I know.
TNA just got partnered. The man who built TNA.
Mm-hmm. The house that AJ Styles built.
It literally is the hell. I don't give a fuck about Jeff Jarrett. I'm sorry.
No.
Yeah, your money went into it, but the heart and soul was AJ Styles.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. I got the next one. Randy Orton, Kevin Owens.
This one's tricky because it's like you can't really just decide where they're going from this. Like, what is the trajectory of this storyline and how does Cody get involved potentially? But I think if we're just going on a surface level, Kevin needs the win. We need Kevin to be hated more like on screen, because right now he's been gone for like 2-3 weeks and it's like, oh, we hate him, but it's like you haven't seen him. So we need to see him do more of the heel stuff in person. And I think him getting a win over Randy kind of helps further that.
I'm going to take it one step further. I hate to do it because I love Randy Orton. Kevin Owens needs to
take him out.
Not only like on a stretcher type of shit.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not for the faint of heart, mute me. Because what Kevin Owens needs to do to Randy Orton needs to be on the WWE level of barbaric, not AEW. There is a difference, and that difference being, what is Kevin Owens' signature move? It's a power bomb on the ring apron.
Mm-hmm.
Randy Orton just had spinal fusion surgery. He was out for 18 months. He's only said it a million and millions of times already.
Mm-hmm.
To really build up how brutal and how vicious this newfound Kevin Owens has become, it's by doing something like this. And yeah, you can throw in the if you really want to go with blood, I don't think you need to here.
No.
Maybe a chair shot, like something like a one hit to the head, but it doesn't need it. You don't need it. You need the brutality
they're not at that point.
They're not at that yet. But you need the brutality of the ring apron powerbomb. And something like Bronson Reed, it needs to be like 5 or 4, around that range. Just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And then have Randy get carried out. And that's how you really build up a vicious kill version of Kevin Owens. I need it.
You have the picks, or the matches.
Yeah, you did say KO. The Fatal 4-Way Women's World Tag Team Championship match. Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair taking on Piper Niven and Chelsea Green. Taking on Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson, Meta 4. Taking on Io Sky and Kairi Sane, Damage Control.
I think Bianca and Jade are retaining. And if they lose, it's to Meta 4.
It's Chelsea.
Yeah, I don't
Chelsea,
think so.
Baby.
I don't think so.
I'm going with it. My heart is telling me Chelsea Green is leaving Saudi Arabia with the women's tag team championships.
I mean, I wouldn't be mad.
You know how entertaining she has been
Yes.
Her Chelsea confessionals are some of the most ingenious posts WWE has been doing. They're awesome. Or she's been doing. Tomato, potato. Doesn't matter. They're just on the internet for our entertainment. And we should be thankful that they are that easily accessible. I can't talk myself into Bianca and Jade retaining as much as I want to. I can't. Metaphor, yeah, you could. It would be a very unholy union type of move. However, no, it's just all signs are pointing to Chelsea to me.
All right.
And then Bronson Reed, Seth Rollins in a non-sanctioned match.
I think Bronson has to win.
I can't do, yeah.
I think he has to win the first one. Seth can win the whole thing, but
yeah, no.
I think Bronson needs to win the first one.
All right, there we go. And then the first of the Crown Jewel Championship matches, Liv Morgan taking on Nia Jax.
This one's hard because it's not like championship versus championship. It's for the like fake Crown Jewel Championship. So it's hard because it's like either one of them could win because they're not losing anything by losing, you know? I feel like my answer might be a little different. Maybe like I think Liv needs to win, but because of this whole thing with Rhea, like she might not need the win as much as if Rhea was still around, you know, because it's like, oh, she just took out Rhea. So like she looks strong and dominant. Like she looks like the bad girl champion, you know? So I think it would be better if she won. Then they could also tease a Tiffany cash-in, which I don't think is happening. But yeah, I guess I'll go with Liv.
I got Nia.
Okay.
In my gut tells me Nia.
Yeah, I just assumed that Raquel was going to get involved to make sure that Liv
Raquel is going to get involved. Tiffy, I would love to see a cash-in.
I don't want to see a cash-in, yeah.
I do.
See, yeah, Richard agrees. It's like, yeah, it makes it a little bit more interesting now.
I think Queen Nia is going to squash Liv like a bug.
No.
We'll have to see how. Well, I mean, squash literally with her finishing move.
Yeah.
I want to watch SmackDown for my final predictions, but as of this show, I'm going to go with Nia. And the main event, Gunther, Cody Rhodes for the Crown Jewel Championship.
I want Gunther to win.
I think
Gunther needs to win. And that's the thing is the streamer that I was watching to watch Raw live earlier this week was saying like, oh, a loss wouldn't hurt Gunther. It would hurt Gunther more than it would hurt Cody.
Cody Rhodes doesn't need a win right now.
No, not for like a silly championship too. You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
I think we might see Kevin Owens get involved potentially if what happens that you said that Randy gets hurt or something, that could be a distraction for Cody. So his mind isn't like 100%. I don't know. I think it does more for Cody than it would for, or I'm sorry, it does more for Gunther than it does for Cody. So from that perspective, it makes more sense to me that Gunther wins.
Now, I already mentioned Kevin Owens being completely unhinged by dismantling Randy Orton. Do you think it's out of the realm of possibility that Kevin Owens becomes so unhinged that he gets in the way, disrupts the main event of Crown Jewel, and Triple H loses it on him? You know, we see Triple H come out of Gorilla and, you know, make a scene and, you know, throw KO out of the building and have a word with him about like whatever. And it's really to build up how loose cannon-esque KO is.
I don't think he would disrupt the match. I don't think they'll want to do that in Saudi because of the way they're building this up. I mean, they gave them their own championship. So I feel like that wouldn't happen until afterwards. Like, that's why I'm saying I wouldn't be surprised if Kevin has a hand in Gunther winning. And then because Cody loses, then he goes in and gets unhinged on Cody. And then we might see like what you're talking about. But I don't think that he'll interfere and like cause the match to end or something, you know? I think that it makes sense in my mind, especially if they're going to, I mean, you think that it's going to be Kevin versus Cody at some point. That could happen at Survivor Series if Cody is not involved in the War Games match. So it would make sense if Randy is taken out, then he shifts his focus to Cody and maybe tries to do the same thing, you know, and then that doesn't work, but he still damages him enough that he, you know, makes a point.
Yeah. I can see that. Be interesting to see.
Yeah.
But we
I know.
I
think this could be a good show, honestly.
I think this is going to be a lot better than people think.
Me too. Like, I think that, you know, people really weren't excited about the champion versus champion thing and like having to fight for this crown jewel championship. But I do think that those matches and then the ones that they've added since, I think that they're going to be solid. Like every match I think is going to be really good. So I think that's all that we could ask for, you know, even if it isn't seeing the WWE championship defended. Okay, well, him versus Gunther is still going to be great. Same thing with the women's match. Like I think that they're all going to be good.
They all will be. It's going to be a good show. It's going to be a really good show. That was a really old reference for anyone who even gets that. Anyways, moving on to the future, and the future is now, old man, with WWE introducing WWE ID, a new partnership with multiple independent development program that they have with multiple wrestling schools across the nation. And I'm going to be reading the information per Fightful. Tuesday, WWE announced its WWE Independent Developmental Program designed to provide up-and-coming independent wrestlers with a pathway to potential career in WWE. And a quote from Brandon Thurston of Post Wrestling, the wrestlers reportedly under contract. Oh, hold on. Several independent wrestlers are already under contracts with WWE related to the WWE ID program. I did see that. One of those names that has been floated around is Speedball Mike Bailey. Big name in TNA, big name in the X division. If he's being floated around there, that's massive. Megan Bain, I think it is. She just was in Limitless last weekend at First Blood. There's a bunch of names like that. And basically, from what I got, from what I've read about it, is that they are partnering with different wrestling schools across the nation. A lot of them, if not all of them, have a connection with WWE. Cody Rhodes' Nightmare Factory is in there. Booker T's Reality of Wrestling is on there. There's a lot of different. I actually think Rikishi's is on there as well.
I wonder, is Kurt Hawkins Create a Pro? No, Create a Pro.
Kurt Hawkins is Create a Pro?
I believe so. Wherever MJF was there. Yeah.
I know shit. I don't know if that is, but that should be. I didn't know that it was Kurt Hawkins. But it's basically a way for WWE to scout potential talent. And I am so here for it. And this is a Triple H idea to the max.
So I have two thoughts. One, I feel like this is kind of like the first step in what Triple H had talked about. I don't remember how long ago, where they want to have like NXTs like around the world, you know? So it's like, oh, we want one in Mexico and we want one in the UK and we want one in India. Like they want this. This feels like the first step in that, to kind of like, because obviously it's all surrounding developmental. So this feels like, okay, we're going to start at home first, because that's the easiest thing that they can do, is starting where they're located. And so I feel like this is just the beginning of what is eventually going to come, because we haven't really got any updates about these like other performance centers and whatever.
Yeah, we haven't.
Secondly, I feel like this is such a brilliant idea because it's just like it's like the minor leagues. Everybody has always called, like the indie scene, it's like the minor leagues. But when you look at professional sports in the minor leagues, there's always a path to getting to the majors, no matter what sport you're in, and that was never the case for independent wrestlers. You just had to go out there and try to create a name for yourself in high school gyms and, at a library that they set up a ring or whatever they're doing. And you had to hope that you garnered enough buzz that you became a name on their radar and that they were impressed enough with you to either just sign you outright to the main roster or to bring you in for a tryout or whatever. This at least is like, okay, we understand how much talent is out there and we want to have it be well known that we are interested in seeing where you go from here, and we would like it to be, you end up becoming a WWE superstar. Like, that is really cool for people who are getting into professional wrestling because they want to be a professional wrestler, because they do a lot of great things for, athletes who are trying to pursue something else because, whether they're done with college and now they didn't go into the pros or whatever, but they're trying to still do something athletically like that. What they do for them is great, but they haven't been able to really set up a great way to cater to die-hard professional wrestling fans that became wrestlers, and their goal was to get to WWE. This to me is exactly that, and that's really cool. And like you said, definitely a Triple H thing.
Triple H, hands all over it. And
yeah,
you've said this a bunch, but it makes a lot of sense now. No one became a wrestler to want to wrestle for AEW or secondary promotion. They dreamed of WWE. Their favorite wrestlers growing up. WrestleMania is the biggest example of that. And this is just a way to facilitate that now. It's a more straight, narrow path to getting there. You're not trying to figure out what school where do I have to go? What name do I have to see? What eyes do I have to have on me in the ring? The blueprint's right there. All you got to do is follow it. And it's brilliant for WWE because how many times have we seen on social media clips of the indies and we're saying how that person should be signed? I'll take it a step further. How many times have we seen people say Daniel Bryan and, Kevin Owens and Sam, all these guys that did it, Cody Rhodes, they made their name on the indies and then came to WWE, and they didn't make a bigger name. They brought their name and following to WWE. It was brilliant. It's brilliant.
Yeah. And I think that, because Triple H was really the brains behind NXT and the black and gold era, and he was so into grabbing from the indies, he recognizes why it's important for the biggest professional wrestling promotion in the entire world to get their hands in the young talent that's out there, because so many of them go unnoticed for so long, and they could be your next big star. You can't just rely on like who falls into your lap. You need to also do the work, and it's great to have a program where it's all right there in front of you.
It is. It's right in front of you. All you gotta do is follow the blueprint. We're talking about younger talent.
Yes.
Let's just transition into the younger talent taking over. Oh,
the answer is
a little NXT takeover war games with the women.
Yes.
All right. Hear me out, Sarah. You may not have to hear me out. You just want to listen. The stare down that we saw last night between those 10 women, that it should be the War Games match. Take out Jordan Grace and what's her face on Fatal Influence, but not I want to call it Ivy Nile. It's not Izzy
Dame.
No, it's not Izzy Dame.
Oh,
it's the third one. There's JC Jane, Fallon Henley, and then the third one.
Oh, I don't remember.
But take her out of the villain side. take Jordan Grace out of the hero side because, I mean, she's not WWE contract
Yeah.
wrestler. You can't put her
Yeah.
War Games. I'm sorry. Take those out and you get the women's War Game match, but maybe add like a Liv Morgan and then someone in Rhea Ripley's place.
Yeah. Well, and I like
I'm
it
for it.
because I think if we look at, you know, there's no obvious women's War Games match right now like there was last year and the year before where you could be like, okay, yeah, this is what they're going to do. That's not the case this year, which isn't a bad thing because I don't think they should force these types of things. But this feels like a great way for them to incorporate the current and the future, but then also incorporating storylines that go between, you know, both brands, and also showcase your newest acquisitions. You know, like why wouldn't you want to see, because it included Zarya, right? And
It did.
and Julia and Stephanie were they part of it? Yeah.
It was all four of them.
Why wouldn't you want to have them on WWE on a WWE PLE?
They could do it.
You
They
know,
could.
I think that would be one heck of a way to have the women's
And
match.
Kalani.
Yeah, that would be pretty great.
Maybe she's a little too green to be in a War Games match. I don't want to put Kalani Jordan in a War Games match.
But it's like, I think that could be really good. And I think people would get into it. Like, even if there isn't this long-term storyline or whatever, I think that people would want to specifically see, you know, Julia and Stephanie and Zarya and just like whatever it is, they would pay Peacock to see that. Like, that would be enough.
Boatloads of money to see that. Should Joe Hendry have won at Bound for Glory? He did not win the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, contrary to what everyone and their mother thought was going to happen. There was interference at first with Ryan Nemeth, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And then
I love his Twitter name. Rai Nem Nem.
That is really funny Twitter name.
Rai Nem Nem.
And then good
I didn't know he left.
Outlaw.
Is he not in AEW anymore?
No, they both got. Yeah.
Oh.
He wasn't in. I don't think he was like contract. I don't know that whole thing. I just know he did a lot of BTE stuff. And then good old John Bradshaw Layfield.
Get the fuck out of it. Go away. Because he's like, I'm preparing for a comeback. Nobody wants to see you in a comeback.
I low-key do.
I don't. No.
If done right. No. Sarah.
JBL is like 68 years old. No one wants to see
that. So
was
William Regal, and I was thrilled to see him on my television last night.
But that's not in a match. I'm saying
that's
JBL
what I'm saying.
He
doesn't need to be in a match.
If I don't know. No.
I think he just wants to get in shape to take bumps. I don't think he was in shape to take bumps when he was trying to coach Baron Corbin.
I think it's hard to say if Hendry should have won, because it's like maybe the end game is that he eventually wins. They're just kind of trying to make it a little bit more difficult, because I think everybody thought that when he was at his peak and was the most viral, like, oh yeah, they're going to put a title on him. But sometimes that is a little too predictable, and it's not what people really want to see, because it's short-term satisfaction. It's possible that they're going to do that and they're just playing the long game. But there was also rumors that people were saying that maybe they're not doing it because he's WWE bound. I don't know.
I saw that too with Jordan Grace.
Yeah, I could see it being. I could see Jordan Grace going to WWE, but like first. But I also say, Hendry said something about, you know, what's coming in January. Basically, he was like alluding to being the Royal Rumble or going to WWE. So I don't know. That could play a role in it. I don't know.
Limitless Wrestling's having their own version of the Royal Rumble in December. Let me get the actual date. December. And I am so happy this is happening. I don't think I've seen an indie promotion do a Royal Rumble match.
Yeah,
before.
It's probably because they don't have the talent, like the number.
It's a lot of production to go into.
Well, and a lot of wrestlers. I mean, that's asking 30 of them to be around, you know?
You have to ask 30 guys. And I know they do have a school themselves, and they have talent up in Orno with Let's Wrestle, but even then, there's a lot of, I hate to use the word, but like choreography that goes into the match, planning, spots, all that. And Randy Carver does a hell of a job up there. He puts on a really fucking good show up in Yarmouth, Maine. I watched Fresh Blood. They had Zilla Fatu last week, and he didn't even main event. You know why? Because Alec Price and Donovan Dijak main evented. Alec Price, that's someone who should be on the WWE ID developmental prospect list.
It's possible he will.
Like he's going to be the future of wrestling. Dijak said it. We should be listening. So no, let me get this going because I want to see when the actual date of it is, because I want to go to it. It's Saturday, December 14th.
Okay.
And it's a legit Rumble because the winner gets a future shot at the Limitless World Championship held by the Big Boofa, Desmond Cole.
The Big Boofa? What does that even mean?
I don't know, but maybe he can come on the show. Maybe he can come in the stream, the artist streams, and tell us what the Big Boofa means. I watched him. It was probably for like the first or second time ever in Limitless when I went to Limitless, or second ever time his time in Limitless, and he fought Too Cold Scorpio, and I'm like, all right, Too Cold Scorpio is like 80 years old. This is gonna be just a passing of the torch type of match, whatever. Sarah, it blew the roof.
Yeah, I remember you talking about it.
I like Desmond Cole. I could gloat about him and toot his horns, but Too Cold Scorpio put on one of the best matches. That man is so athletic for his age. He was hitting top rope maneuvers. I'm telling you, it was insane. It was awesome. So yeah, that is in December. I want to do shit for that. So be on the lookout for that. Go watch it. Go check that out. All right, let me get this. I have to mention the Chris Bay GoFundMe. I put it here in the private chat so that we could put it in the chat so that if anyone wanted to donate and raise money, Edge, Adam Copeland, whose birthday is also today, Sarah.
It is.
He donated $10,000. For a really good cause. Chris Bay, TNA wrestler, was injured severely, what it seems like, at a TNA taping after Bound for Glory, same night as Vikingo, and he, along with Vikingo, they were both stretchered off, and he went into surgery and is recovering well from what we've heard, but wrestlers are raising money. They put a GoFundMe page together, and we're in the wrestling world. We want to help out our peeps. We love, TNA is something we really do care about, and especially the wrestlers in it. So let's pass along the message. And if you feel so inclined to donate, then do it. All right. And then Sarah, you wanted to bring this up to wrap things up here with Around the Wrestleverse.
So Bo Dallas did an interview recently, and I thought this was really fascinating because it's crazy to think about, because I mean, first of all, it's crazy to think that Vince McMahon ever thought it was a good idea to fire Bray Wyatt to begin with, because I think that batch of names that was released that were, sent on their merry way, Bray Wyatt was the one that was like, what? Really? Okay. But Bo was talking about that he and Bray were both in contact with WWE around the same time, and they were both wanting to go back to WWE, and they had already come up with like a bunch of ideas of how they could work together and a bunch of storylines, characters, whatever, but that WWE wasn't really interested in them working as a team upon their return. So that was crazy to me too, because it felt like clearly something wasn't working with Bray, and whatever he was trying to propose is, I guess, what led to him being released, whatever way that you can try and justify it, whatever, especially since it was the Fiend stuff that kind of kicked him out the door in Vince's eyes, I guess. So you
Think
knew that
that.
something had to change for him to come back. And it was like the easiest thing to me would, you could have revived the Wyatt family or something like that. And it's like Bo would have been a very easy addition to that.
Very easy.
The last time we saw Bo, it wasn't working with him. That is another reason he was released. You know what I mean? Like they couldn't figure it out. Yeah, they couldn't figure out what to do with him after the whole, Bo leave thing ended up flopping. So it's like kind of crazy to think that they were like, yeah, we want you both to come back, but like separately and not together. I'm glad that changed because I think what they did together was really awesome. And now we have the Wyatt Six because of it. And had they not changed their mind, that wouldn't be something that we could even be talking about right now. There would be no Wyatt Six. So it's like whoever changed their mind and allowed it to happen, thank you, because a massive mistake if they hadn't.
It's a great way to honor Bray. What they're doing right now with the Wyatt Six is the best possible way to honor Bray's legacy in WWE. Every character in the Wyatt Six has a purpose for being in there. Bray wanted to work with them or did at some point in his career. And what makes it so special too is they have that theme of misfits, outcasts, set aside. And that's kind of what Bray was throughout his entirety of WWE on screen, because of who Bray Wyatt was, who the Fiend was. So to have them come together and do this and have it go over or be going over so well right now and well received with the fans is remarkable.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, thank God that they changed their mind and let us see, like, I would say probably besides the Wyatt family, the best version of Bray Wyatt that we ever got in WWE was that last stint, before he got sick. I think that was some of the best stuff because it was the most raw, the realist version of Wyndham Rotunda, like going beyond just being Bray Wyatt. I feel like that was incredible work, and the fact that he was able to do that with his brother, I think that's kind of what makes the Wyatt Six even better, is because it is being led by his literal brother.
His literal family, which makes the whole theme of family that mean that much more. All right. And so we got for Around the Wrestleverse. Now it's time to hit the 1, 2, 3 count. Starting off with 1, Throwback Thursday, because it's Thursday, TBT. Seen a lot of videos. I follow like Wrestle with Andy, Cultaholic, all those. And even the interviews I've been listening to, they've been talking a lot about factions. Who's your like OG other than NWO? Like, don't give me NWO. Okay. It's the fucking background. All right. We know we're big NWO people here. All right. But what were like some factions growing up that were awesome? And then another one. You can just give one for that one, but just get it off my screen. I don't care what you're doing.
One of the best, I would say, Team Extreme. I loved Team Extreme because I felt like, it was like my favorite tag team and one of my favorite women's wrestlers coming together so organically. It was like incredible. And especially at that time, it was rare for a intergender faction for the woman to also be a wrestler and not just a manager. So I felt like that made her even cooler. It made the whole group even cooler because it was like, Lita can hold her own. Like, she was beating up dudes also. She wasn't just the, escorting them to the ring and trying to look hot for everybody. I think that's what made it so cool. The first faction that comes to my mind that was horrific is the Spirit Squad.
That was mine.
That was mine. I feel like it never. I think it just never made sense. You know what I mean? Like it just
It was
didn't
just
seem to
stupid.
fit.
It was just
Imagine
stupid.
imagine being those dudes. And it's like you want to be in WWE so bad, and so it's like you just have to like deal with it and do what they give you because you don't have pull to be like no. And then you have to go out there and perform it at your best because it's like otherwise you're going to be fired and this is what they're giving you. Like that had to have sucked because it was just bad.
Brutal.
Just and it was like all they were doing was just like being super annoying and then getting their ass beat every single week. Like that was literally all they did. You
They
know,
were
it's
just
like
DX's punching bags.
yeah, it was
or,
like
or Kane and Big Show. I don't
yeah.
know which is worse, to be quite honest
Imagine
with
just
you.
like that's your every Monday you go to work and you're like, all right, who's beating us up this week? You know,
I love Team Canada in TNA. I was a huge PD Williams. I still am a huge PD Williams fan, and it was the first time I ever saw Eric Young. So to see Eric Young go from that to Sanity, Eric Young is unbelievable transition.
Yeah, I bet.
Unbelievable transformation. Team Canada, I
Oh,
loved in TNA.
Final Boss
Filthy
says Filthy
Animals.
Animals was
Oh, in
underrated. We got to see Ray.
WCW.
I know. Ray as a heel, he was a naughty. He was naughty.
He was a naughty boy.
I know. I sent a video of that to my sister and she was all like, he's so hot. And I was like, calm down. Because she loves Rey Mysterio. So seeing him like unmasked and then like saying like dirty things, she's all like, oh yeah. And I'm like, ew.
Okay.
5'4" of like, oh.
Do you remember LAX?
No.
It was Homicide and Hernandez.
Mm.
Hernandez was one of the most freakishly looking dudes I've ever seen, and he would just throw people.
Oh, I think I remember. Yeah,
across the ring. Oh my god, he was incredible.
In TNA, wasn't there a Homicide and a Suicide? Wasn't there like at the
Suicide? Get this. So Suicide was a wrestler that they made in real life because of the TNA Impact game. He was a character that was like part of the story mode, basically like what I do with Bad Gal, but strictly for the story. And then they said, you know what? What if we just like bring him to life? And it was played by Christopher Daniels.
It's just so funny. It's like Homicide and Suicide. Like what? Like, cool. Okay.
It's TNA for you.
The 2000s TNA, at least.
The worst, hands down. Hands down. It's my least favorite faction ever. Right to Censor.
I knew you were gonna say that.
I
said,
could not stand them.
They had potential to be so good because of the time that they made that. And then of course it's like who they had involved in it, you know, like especially the Good Father. It was like the irony in him being a part of that. I think that they could have been so good. Yeah, Val Venus. Like that's the thing, is like the irony in all of it. They could have just made them such a big name, like more legendary than obviously people remember them because of their music. Well, the noise. Yeah, but Vince dropped the ball, I really feel like. But that's the thing, is the reason why Right to Censor could exist is because of what Vince wanted on TV every week, which was women wearing the smallest things possible, bra and panties matches, and whatever. So he wouldn't
middle finger.
He wouldn't want to do anything to stop that from happening. So that's why he didn't really put a ton of effort into Right to Censor. But it's like you could have made that so good, like cut the broadcast. You know what I mean?
Oh my god! Could you imagine Steven Richards?
Cut the camera, so it's like during a bra and panties match, like cut the camera. They get on
commercial break.
Like, stuff like that. Like they could have done so much.
They're in the production truck. It goes to commercial break. And they come back from commercial break, and it's Right to Censor in the production truck.
So that's what I'm saying.
That's fucking brilliant, Sarah.
I know. So I'm saying like they really dropped the ball. They could have done, and that's the thing. It wouldn't work now, but the Attitude Era. It would have been killer. And all of those guys and girls were great on their own. Like they weren't necessarily the face of the company, but they were still great on their own and had good careers in WWE. So like, why wouldn't you put effort into that? I don't get it.
I don't get it either. All right. How much was that pay-per-view? Because Sarah, we don't pay for pay-per-views anymore. That's why we don't call them pay-per-views anymore. It's why we call them PLEs. but because we did because we did a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, I was scrolling Twitter and someone tweeted, I can't believe that I paid X amount of dollars for this B Show SmackDown pay-per-view. And I thought to myself, you know what? For that price right now, because you still technically do pay for some, not in WWE. TNA, you had to pay for Bound for Glory. You have to pay for all AEW pay-per-views. And if you don't, yeah, we'll go for there because that's the ones I know for sure. So because of that, it brings us back to the old school pay-per-views, WWE, where you had to pay a certain amount. So I'm going to throw a card at you. I want you to look. I sent it to you so you can get a better look.
Oh, okay.
It's in your texts, but I'm going to say it obviously for the peeps here watching. I try to get it up. Maybe in post we'll do it, but whatever. So the card starts with, so we have Charlie Haas and Hardcore Holly taking on the Basham Brothers. Okay, that's one match. A Dixie dogfight between Daniel Puder and also birthday boy today, Mike the Miz.
No, it's not his. I don't think it's his birthday.
Was it yesterday?
Maybe, I don't know.
Okay, so still
the Miz.
Mike the Miz Hannon. I'm just gonna say it's a one-on-one match because there's no header. Between Dawn Marie and Miss Jacqueline, or no, not Miss Jacqueline, Jackie. Yeah. There's a difference.
With her real life husband as a special guest referee,
Charlie Haas. Cruiserweight title match between Funaki and champion Spike Dudley. Tag team championship match, Rene Dupree and Kaoru Suzuki. His last name's Suzuki. I don't know his first name. Taking on the champions RVD and Rey Mysterio. Handicap match between the Big Show taking on Kurt Angle, Luther Reigns, and Mark Jindrak.
Like, who?
Exactly. Fun fact, Mark Jindrak's supposed to be the fourth member of Evolution.
Yeah, but it didn't work.
Thank God it didn't. Street fight for the U.S. Championship. John Cena taking on Jesus. If anyone doesn't know or remember who that is, it is Carlito's henchman. And it was fun fact, that's when this title was debuted. That was the same night that this title was debuted.
Thugonomics John Cena, the love of Melon.
And the main event, Fatal 4-Way for the WWE Championship, The Undertaker versus Eddie Guerrero versus Booker T versus champion JBL. Sarah, how much was that pay-per-view?
I remember pay-per-views mostly being like 60 to 75.
Okay, this one wasn't that.
Okay, well, this is like what, 2003?
2004.
Okay, so I'm going to say like, I don't know, like 40, 45.
You're close with 40.
35.
Yeah, $35.
Yeah, as the years went on, though, they started to become like 60 to 75 bucks.
Oh, I paid 70 for WrestleMania 28 and 60 or 70 for 29.
Yeah.
I remember it being a big stink in my house, and I was like, I have a job. I pay for it.
Yeah, because I think...
Why are we yelling?
And that actually wasn't that bad because the normal monthly pay-per-views were 50-ish.
Yeah.
So then getting like a much longer show out of WrestleMania to only be like, 10, 20 bucks more, not that bad at the time.
See, Final Boss, I would agree with you, but as one AEW fan who has paid for said AEW pay-per-views, it is worth it. I hate to be like, but it is worth the money if you are watching weekly, or at least as close to weekly as possible, and you're following in and you have a fandom for these guys. It's worth it. Like, I get it. That's why they have less of them, but it's also a different style. It's different. So if you're not about it, you're not about it. And then 3 to wrap it up, Sarah, Bad Gal. I've been heading over, and you and Rhea Ripley gotta just chill out. All right, you guys just taking over the women's division on Raw. So much so that I had to go down to NXT and hang with Sally.
Oh.
I don't know why I was hanging out with Psycho Sally. She starts befriending someone. You guys win the tag, or not you guys, because you're not Psycho Sally. I technically am. Psycho Sally, myself, and our friend Carly are the women's tag team champions, defeating the Unholy Union on SmackDown. Don't know how that happened, but then we get jumped back to you, and it's actually insane. You're recreating the Dom, Liv, Rhea love triangle. Like, almost verbatim. I stopped playing during your match. You were taking on Katana Carter. Or,
Katana Chance.
No. Kaden Carter. You're taking on Kaden Carter. You were facing her in a match, and it was right at that little cliff, like hump of the story, where you and Dom are now taking over.
Let's go.
So you have taken Dom from Rhea.
Let's go.
Which confirms that in every galaxy, Dom and Rhea were meant to split up.
And Dom is a daddy.
And Dom is your daddy. Dom's your daddy.
Yeah.
All right. So that's all we got for you guys here. Thank you for joining us with the Super Show. Really appreciate all the love and support as we get on that road to, I think, 2100. I think the next one is.
Yep. We're at 2085.
All right. We're only 15 away. All right. 15 of you are definitely in here. Go tell a friend to subscribe, and boom, there we are. So we'll be back next week. Crown Jewels on Saturday. So no SmackDown breakdown. Got to watch it because that's what we do here. No nights off. Yeah. So we'll be watching that, and go follow us, subscribe, hit that bell notification every time we post. We'll have new videos coming up, obviously. And until then, thank you all for tuning in. God bless. Remember, you can do it. All you got to do is try. Woo!